My second ultra preparation race takes me to my hometown of Geneva, a local race that is going to take me on a short ultra distance of around 46 kilometers and 1,500 meters of elevation gain. A race that I'll be able to run for the most part, and which will be taking me on an urban section which I'm not used to. A bit of a change from the pure mountainous races I usually do. With the backdrop of the epic Alps, this is a great volume ramp up as I further work towards the Swiss Alps 100. So here we are on the Geneva Ecotrail race, which is 46 kilometers approximately and 1,500 meters D+. So good training for the next races. Beautiful day, amazing, really amazing. So I think it's going to be a good race. That's Geneva over there. We've got the Mont Blanc over here, and then the rest of the Alps extending over there. That's the La Clément. So home race, early start, 6:30 start, but didn't have too far to go, so I made it easier. The race starts on the shore of Lake Léman, in this city that is the home of the United Nations European headquarters and a host of other international organizations. It is also well known for its jet d'eau, which unfortunately is not turned on this early in the morning. Geneva is a great location to then head for adventures in the Alps, be it for skiing in the winter or hiking in the summer. It's the second most populous city in Switzerland after Zurich, and is right on the border with France, so French is the main language here. The first section of the race takes us around parts of the Geneva city, a mostly flat section of the course that is therefore quite fast, but I'm keeping an eye on my heart rate, trying to avoid burning myself too early.
So it's kilometer 5. I think I've been going a little too fast, but hey, we're here to push ourselves as well. Beautiful view of Geneva. So at kilometer 12, feeling okay so far.
Some of the course markings are a little confusing, as the arrows also apply for the return, as we will be going through here again later.
Je crois que c'est là-bas, non? Ah ouais? Si. Ah ok, ok.
And I was not the only one getting confused on this route.
Ok, c'est pour revenir, ok. Ouais. Ah ouais. Merci.
I had not loaded the GPX of the course on my watch, and I'm starting to worry that I might get lost at some point. I already very nearly went the wrong way several times, and now we're about to take on the big climb of the day up to the top of the Saleve mountain that overlooks Geneva from the French side of the border, taking us on a 1,000 meter plus elevation gain. I'm glad the flat section is over, as I much prefer going up than along.
Alright, we're gonna start the big climb now.
How far will you go? With no guarantee, you know.
I've always preferred uphills. I'm able to settle into the zone, mentally escape and think. Despite having achieved my goal last year, finishing my first ever 100-kilometer race, I'm still pursuing a goal. Or am I chasing a ghost? In the midst of this dark forest, the demons of the past seem to be tormenting me. Am I chasing or running away from something? This year's ultra training has been grueling. Waking up at 5 AM, heading out in the cold and darkness of winter, sacrificing sleep to get back for my family before a full day of work kicks off. But the objective is getting closer, and I need to keep my head down.
Open your eyes and let the light into your mind. How far can you see? With no guarantee of anything.
We're now close to the top of the Saleve mountain, and I still feel well at this stage.
I think we've reached the top nearly. Beautiful view. That's a pretty awesome view down there. Lac Léman. Yeah. Pretty cool. So the other end of this lake, we're on one end with the Geneva, and on the other end is where I finished the Swiss Alps 100 last year. So we're on the other end of this majestic lake. That's all Geneva down there. Pretty epic. So at kilometer 25, climbed about 1,200 meters, about nearly 3 hours in. Been pretty disciplined with the nutrition, so far so good.
After an incredible look at Geneva from the top of the Saleve, I'm now heading back down and towards the second aid station. I noticed that the course markings are becoming less and less noticeable. So I make a point of being extra attentive to avoid getting lost. I'm now on my own with no one else to follow. Without knowing, I'm currently running in 7th position out of 50 runners. Way down to the second aid station, I lose sight of the markings and get completely lost. I have no phone signal to check the maps. I try my luck down what I think is a path and then follow some voices to finally find the aid station.
It's just really annoying. I got lost on a downhill, so I don't know, I lost maybe 10 minutes. Super frustrating. Kilometer 31, cramps, not good, not feeling great. Haven't seen any sign for a while. Haven't seen any runners either. So I'm wondering if I'm on the right path.
This time I get completely lost and disorientated. I still have no phone signal and I'm incapable of assessing exactly where I am and where I should go. Luckily, I hear some voices and bump into other lost runners who propose to follow a trail they found, and it turns out to be the right one. I lose around 20 minutes in the process. I now try to pick up the pace on the downhill to try and regain some of the lost time, but I'm starting to take too many risks as I slide around a lot. I finally reach the bottom and bump into a friend doing the 80-kilometer race who also got lost.
Got lost twice already. Jeez. Good luck, man. All the best.
I'm now taking on the final part of the race, which is a flat and fast section in the heat. We're now nearing midday and the temperature is already above 30 degrees centigrade. I'm already suffering.
Super, merci beaucoup. Voilà. Merci bien. Guess we're entering the last 15 kilometers. I had to stop my Garmin to load the maps, but I didn't have an internet. So luckily I managed to somehow find the way. So hopefully it'll be over soon.
I now have to get my head down and deal with this flat section as best I can as we head back into Geneva with a lot more concrete and even more heat. In addition to the heat, I also now have to deal with a lot more people on the course, as my race joins the shorter distances that are also running today. This means a lot of zigzagging between people along this very narrow section of the course.
Oh, merci. Oh, merci. Oh, merci.
Cramps kick in at this point, and I stop to stretch. On the previous downhill I had a few falls and I hurt my knee that I could now feel more and more. I'm worried that this might affect my next races, so I decide to take it easy on this last section.
So on the downhill I fell, and now I can feel my knee aching a bit. It's taking it a bit easy now.
But I guess pride sometimes gets the better of the mind, and I decide to pick up the pace again. Despite picking up the pace, I lose several positions in the last kilometer, so close to the end. But I recall the objective I set myself. I'm not here for positions, but for the training load. This race is all about increasing the time on feet, and I'm getting that for sure.
Surviving. Arriving. Not easy. Jeez, tough.
I finished the race in 11th position out of 50 runners, a great result despite losing a few spots at the end. Despite not aiming for a particular position, it did feel good to finish near the top for once. I still recall my first official trail, the Swiss Peaks Torgon race, where I finished a few spots from the bottom and see the progress I made since. But I recall that I'm aiming at finishing these races, and especially aiming at finishing the Swiss Alps 100 that I'm targeting in August. In the meantime, I'll continue to increase the load, with the Mont Blanc Marathon coming up next, and then the epic Kalalao Trail in Kauai.